Governor, before you launched your budget hearings, you talked about how state revenues were under some pressure. And given that that nationally we're seeing some growth, not as much as we would like, but do you have any idea of kind of what's driving that? And the second part of my question is, this decision out of New York about taxing online retailers, will that have any impact in Tennessee?
And two really good questions. So the question is, nationally it seems like the economy is picking up a little bit. Why are our numbers seeming to be flat to a little off? I think some of that is driven by this. In Tennessee, we're driven by two main revenue sources: sales tax, and then all the business taxes. There's a lot of other things, but that's where the bulk of it comes from: franchise and excise taxes on business and sales tax. And actually digging in the franchise and excise taxes are where we've been off. And digging down a little bit, we're finding something interesting. The franchise and excise taxes we're collecting are actually not off that much. What's up is businesses, a lot of y'all in this room know this, make estimated tax payments. And the payments that were made last year were estimates, and a lot of those companies had overpaid. And so just like on your income tax, a lot of those companies are getting refunds. And so our refunds right now are a little higher than they have been, which means two things. One, that maybe our franchise and excise taxes from a year ago weren't as good as we thought they were, and that they're not as bad as they look right now. So we have a few more months for that to play out. Obviously in sales tax, what happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas is a big indicator. From all signs, Thanksgiving was sort of mediocre. So that's one issue. I also think, and we're trying to dig down further, the answer to the first question is related to the second. How many people in here are going to buy a Christmas present for somebody, or buy something in November or December online? Everybody will buy something online. Okay, well, all that is stuff that prior to this we were getting 7% off of that we're not now. Okay, so at some point in time, the math of that, if you look and you see, online retail sales are up, in fairly significant numbers. Being sales tax driven and having more and more sales tax move to the internet, I think is starting to chip away a little bit of our sales tax growth. The second question was this: there was a decision on New York. Right now, as you know, when you buy something online, if you're buying it from a state that a company has a physical presence in the state, then they're charging you sales tax that they're collecting. So if you're buying from Walmart.com, they're charging that. Anybody who doesn't, there was a Supreme Court decision back when it was just catalogs that were being sold kind of on a direct mail basis. It said that states or that companies didn't have to collect that for states. The tax was still due, but the companies didn't have to collect it. There was the state of New York decided to start charging or making companies collect that sales tax whether they had a physical presence or not. And so they got sued by several of the online retailers, and the Supreme Court basically said, we're not going to take that up, which would seem to give states licenses, if they wanted to start copying New York's policy and implementing that as well. We have been in favor of the Fair Marketplace Act being passed by Congress. It's passed in the Senate. Senator Alexander took a lead on that. It's going, right now it's kind of sitting still in the House. My argument, people go, well, that feels like a new tax. You're supposed to be a Republican. You don't like taxes. Well, what's the deal? My point would be this, that those online retailers are competing with local folks who have made investments in real estate and construction and employees here. The way we pay for things in Tennessee is sales tax, and to say that one retailer has to and another one doesn't isn't fair. The other argument I would make is, again, more and more things are moving to, people aren't just buying books online anymore, I'll put it that way. My daughter-in-law buys her dishwasher detergent online, okay? And she's not that unusual. So as more and more of the economy goes that way, and if we're going to live off the sales tax, I don't know how we're going to say, well, okay, we're going to make these folks collect it, but not those folks.